A very good noon to all of you. I am Nikita and I welcome you to this session Strategy to Ways Type in the Answer Parajumbles. Now, as you know, in CAT, you do not get options with Parajumbles. You have to yourself form the sequence and type that in. That's why the name Type in the Answer Parajumbles. So today we'll see how to approach them. We'll solve some questions so that we understand that okay, this is how I have to do it in the exam and this is how I have to score the maximum marks in this area, right? So last year, I think three questions. Yes, three questions from type in the answer Parajumbles came. So 3 marks each. That makes it 9 marks. Okay, so it's an important area. Hi Harshad, good noon. How are you? Okay, so we've already had one session on ACE Parajumbles, wherein I talked to you about the basic approach. We also saw some MCQ Parajumbles in that session. That is Parajumbles with options, right? So today I'll take up questions that do not have options, one thing. And secondly, my focus will be on how to get the maximum accuracy in these questions because sometimes students feel that they're time consuming, so they leave them altogether. So we'll talk about if that is the right thing to do or not. Okay? All right. I am also good. So, uh, the basics you are already aware of. When I ask you to attempt a parajumble question, I am checking your understanding of a paragraph. Okay, do you understand what a paragraph means? Right. So, when we read the newspapers, when we read magazines, we tend to overlook this structure. Yes. So, our parajumble questions make us pay attention towards it that okay, pay attention to this structure is there for a reason. I have arranged things into a paragraph because they are interconnected, because they carry a common theme. So this is what parajumbles make you pay attention to. So you have to first of all understand that a paragraph will always have interconnected sentences. You have to spot these connections. And how will you spot these connections? Once you understand what the paragraph is about. Okay, so understand the interconnectedness of sentences, how they should be organized, and what are they about, what is their theme, and you are sorted in these questions. Okay. Unknown is asking, can I start preparation for CAT exam in the first year of BTech? Yes, you can. So right now you can focus on the basics, on the fundamentals. Okay, in case you feel a particular section is your weak area, so you can start from the very basics. And if you ask me about VARC, you can absolutely start it right now because a lot of your CAT VARC is reading. Okay, so all you have to do is read consistently, right? So make it a target that okay, every month I have to finish 2 books. Let's say take up one fiction and one non-fiction, right? So you will realize that by the time you reach your third year, you would have read a significant number of books. Okay, that will help you in your RC passages. Moreover, I would suggest that start learning some vocabulary words, start building your vocabulary, not just through reading, of course. You will build your vocabulary through reading as well, but you can follow some more active techniques, right? For instance, the book Word Par Made Easy, some word lists you can follow, flashcards, vocabulary flashcards are a good way. So I think these two areas is something that you can start working on right now. The other areas, when it comes to, let's say, the solving part, you can attend sessions, solve with me, right? So the solving part will be taken care of then. And otherwise, I think right now is the time to focus on these fundamentals. Okay. All right. So now you've understood that first of all, in a parajumble question, I want to understand whether you've understood the paragraph or not. So your comprehension, whether you understand the sentences given to you or not. Okay. And here, by saying that you understand sentences or not, I do not mean each and every word. No, you may not understand a couple of words in some sentences, which is fine. But do you understand the broader theme? That is what is important. Then, organization, how these sentences should be arranged. Do you understand the flow of sentences? Okay. Do you understand that what does this word however mean? What does the word consequently mean? What does subsequently mean? Right. So, why should idea A come after idea B? What is the thematic connection there? So, do you understand these kinds of things? right? This is what Parajumbles test. And mind you, the more you read, the better you become at both these skills. Why? Because when you read, of course, you develop an understanding of diverse genres, so comprehension improves. Secondly, organization improves because you develop this very important skill of anticipation. Okay, anticipation in reading. So, for instance, if you are reading a thriller, you tend to predict, okay, what is going to come next or what the author is going to write next. This is called anticipation in reading. You tend to understand the structure of words. Okay, so you tend to realize that if the author has written for sure, then and then stated a point, the author is going to contradict or dilute this point later. Okay, because the moment we say for sure, that means okay, fine, I acknowledge this, but so this anticipation in reading helps you to organize ideas, right? This must have happened with you, isn't it? That when you are, let's say, reading some authors that you've already read, or when you're watching a particular director whose movies you've already seen, then you tend to understand their style. Okay, you tend to understand, okay, if they make a scene very slow, then the next scene will probably have something explosive, right? Or in thrillers, you are able to predict what is going to happen next. This is anticipation, and this skill you build through reading. Okay, this also helps you in organizing. Yes, Harsha, the structure words, correct. Okay, so that means the first thing that I would tell you, because a lot of students, they're not able to give that concentration to parajumbles. I have seen students rereading the sentences a lot when it comes to parajumble questions, which wastes a lot of time, and it is actually crippling in a type in the answer parajumble question because you don't even have options. So the first suggestion is that read with concentration, thinking that I have only one chance to read all the sentences. Okay, so read them with concentration, right? This will help you because comprehension improve hoga and time save hoga. Okay. Second thing that you have to do is that search for clues. Okay, so what kind of clues am I talking about? Theme based clues. So, repetition of words. Pay attention to the repetition of words, repetition of ideas, synonym antonyms. Pay attention to those. Those are your theme based clues. Okay. Structure based clues. So, for instance, in a recipe or in an experiment, a science experiment, the steps are given like this. First, do this, then do this. These are your structure based clues. First, next, then, right? Or your structure, so this was a sequence, this was a list, so structure looked like this. Your structure can look like this also. First, let's say the first two sentences introduce a problem. Okay. The next two sentences perhaps elaborate on that problem, or they may simply jump to providing solutions. That may also happen. So it becomes a problem solution structure, right? It may be a definition, elaboration, example structure. So pay attention to the structure. Every paragraph is going to have a structure, right? Hi, Prateek. Okay. And grammar based clues, as I just talked to you about the structure words, the conjunctions, as some of us call them, adverbial conjunctions. Okay. So these words, such as however, as a result, moreover, furthermore, since, they show some connections, some logical connections. Okay. So these grammar based words, they give you some logical connections. Make those connections, be alert towards those connections, right? Moreover, it's not just about structure words, it's also about the noun pronoun relationship, right? Usually we name a person first, then we use a pronoun for them. Usually when I say this is unacceptable, I must have stated, okay, what exactly am I talking about earlier? So such noun pronoun relationships, conjunction relationships, article familiarity, the, if I say the teacher, right, then probably I may have talked about this teacher earlier. I may have introduced this teacher earlier. That's why I'm now calling him or her the teacher, right? So pay attention to these things, pay attention to tenses. This will help you a lot in your parajumble arrangement. Okay. So we did this activity last time also, in case Some of you attended the previous session called Ace Parajumbles. That was on Cat Parajumbles again. So I'm repeating this for those of you who did not attend it. I want you to arrange this, and not just arrange this. I want you to identify three types of clues here. See, all three types of clues are present here: theme based, structure based, and grammar based. Okay. So arrange it, and then I'll ask you, what are these clues that are present here? Yes, tell me. A very easy question. Okay. Monkey D. Luffy has answered. Harshad has answered. So I'll ask you the clues also that helped you. So identify them. That's it. Two responses. What are the other students doing? Yes. All right. CDBA. That means all of us agree that C is the opening sentence. At least that much agreement is there. Okay. All right. Let's have a look. So what all clues did you identify? I want to know. Which all clues led you to your sequence? Hmm. Okay, let's see. See, this is a first of all, let me just state it outrightly. This is an easy question. Okay. Now, you are right in saying that C is the opening sentence. So one, I want to say a few words about the opening sentence also. See, a lot of students, they want to first identify the opening sentence, and then only they start with the sequencing process. Okay. I would say that fine, this is not a wrong approach. But if there is an a distinct opening sentence, then you will find it easily, right? Remember, this is a paragraph and not an essay that you are reading. That it will have a clear introduction, it will have a clear conclusion. That's not necessary. So if there is a sentence that is in the nature of an opening sentence, you will find it pretty easily, as you did here. If you're able to do that, excellent. You start your sequence like that. If not, don't be very stubborn that I'll first find the first sentence and then only I'll proceed. Okay, focus rather on making mandatory pairs. That's a foolproof approach to attempting these questions. So your focus should be, okay, which sentence will go with this one, rather than seeing whether this is the first sentence or not. You get it? So the moment you read A, your effort should be, let me see what goes with A, rather than checking whether A is indeed the opening sentence or not. If there is a clear cut opening sentence, you will find it easily. Okay. Now, Aniket is saying that theme based clues helped him. Japanese gods and the good luck that comes with them. Good, Aniket. So, C is actually giving us the introduction that whom are we talking about? We are talking about Japanese gods. In all the other sentences, also, we are talking about them. So, this becomes our theme, that we are talking about Japanese gods in this paragraph. Okay, then you are right in associating good luck and happiness with good fortune. So that makes CA a pair. Those of you who made CD a pair, no. CA is a pair. Seven popular gods, seven popular Japanese deities, the Shichi Fuguchin, were considered to bring good luck and happiness. Each one of whom, each one of these seven, they personified a different aspect of good fortune. So CA, thematically related. Okay, then we say the others. When we say the others were versions of popular Buddhist gods, who are these others? Because we are saying seven and then we say each one. That means we are covering all seven here as well. So this, the others, does not fit after A. D should come after A. Although they were included, so each one, after each one I'm saying, although they were included in the Shinto pantheon, only two of them, see, only two of them, Daikoku and Ebisu, were indigenous Japanese gods. The others were versions of popular Buddhist gods, Hindu gods, and Taoist gods. That means we are saying only two of them were homegrown gods, right? The others were taken from various other religions, right? So there is a thematic connection also here, that only two of them are indigenous, the others are taken from other places. Okay, and this two of them, the others. This grammatical connection is also there. So the sequence should be CADB, okay, and not the other sequences that I got. Good, Prajwal. All right. Correct, Monkey D. Luffy. That is also a good approach. That okay, B can never be the opening sentence because I'm saying the others. So when you say seven, when you have a sentence that says seven popular Japanese deities, then a sentence beginning with the others is highly unlikely to be the opening sentence. Correct. So see here, I have color codified these clues for you. These are your theme-based clues, the one in purple. Okay, Japanese deities. Then we said I should have underlined this indigenous also. Indigenous, Buddhist gods, Hindu gods, Taoist gods. So this tells me that overall this paragraph is about gods, particularly Japanese deities. I'm talking about how many of them are homegrown, how many of them are not homegrown. Okay. Then grammar-based clues. They, each one, the others, right? These are your grammar-based clues, these three. This also happens to be a structure-based clue. So see, seven, two of them, the others. This creates a structure, right? Seven, then I say only two of them. Okay, so I'm referring to these seven. Then the others. This creates a structure also here, a sequence also here. So these are your structure-based clues as well. Okay, so this is how you attempt a parajumble question. Because this was easy, there was this much analysis was not really required. But in a difficult parajumble, or when you are confused in, let's say, just one mandatory pair, one sentence, the placement of one sentence, this analysis comes very handy. Okay, all right then. So what else should you do apart from searching for clues? Read the first few words of each sentence. I'm not saying that don't read whole sentences, but yes, pay specific attention to the first few words. Sometimes they contain a lot of clues. For instance, look at your previous question. So many clues in the first few words. Yes, in the first couple of words here. So pay attention to these first few words. They contain a lot of clues. Okay, let's have a look at this question here. Okay, and again see, there are clues that are present in your first few words. So let's see what you say for this one. Yes, Prajwal, I agree. Grammar-based clues are usually the most reliable. Okay. Others, what do you say? All right. Where should two be placed? What is two talking about? Three responses. Okay, I need at least one more. Then I'll begin discussing this. Excellent. Yes. The sequence is 3, 2, 1, 4. Okay, so I think the placement of 2 was an issue of contention here, right? For some of you. So, good. Very well identified that 3 is the opening sentence. Okay, because this is introducing the issue that we are discussing in the rest of the sentences, meritocracy. Now, it says that, it is inevitable in a free society that we think of ourselves as designed to see our achievements as worthy of reward. Okay, that we think this way, that if I achieve something, I deserve a reward for it. It's my, basically, it's a product of my effort. Okay. Now, look at the rest of the sentences. They say something different. Okay. So, they do not really echo this idea. Okay. To see our achievements as worthy of reward. That means there is a contradiction there. And even if, let's say, you're not able to understand it so quickly in the exam, right? Because in exam, our time is limited, right? We have limited time. So, look at this here. The more we are able to accept that our achievements are largely out of our control, the easier it becomes to understand that our failures and those of others are too. So, you see that one is saying something that is different from three, and straight away jumping to it will not make sense, right? So that means there has to be something in between that actually justifies that transition to an opposite idea. So two is that link. But the raft of recent books about the limits of merit. So first I talk about meritocracy, which means rule by merit, okay, or the most meritorious person occupying the highest position in the society. So we first talk about meritocracy, then we say that there are limits to merit, and the recent draft of books, they discuss these limits of this limit of merit, and this is an important correction to the arrogance of contemporary entitlement, that if I have made an effort, I deserve a reward. Okay, or if I am meritorious, I deserve a reward. So this is an important correction, and it's an opportunity to reassert the importance of, now see this thematic clue, luck or grace in our thinking. So when I talk about luck, that means things that are out of my control, isn't it? So this is something that has been discussed here as well, largely out of our control. Right, so there is a theme based connection, there is a structure based connection. When you're contradicting, you need something first. Okay, so so that you can say other things that contradict the main thing. So 3, 2, 1, and then 4. And that in turn, understanding this, when we accept that our achievements and our failures and those of others too are largely out of their control, that in turn should increase our humility. Right? We become humble, no, when we realize that we are not all powerful, and the respect with which we treat our fellow citizens, because we are talking about others also here. Okay. Hope you've got this. Correct, Prajwal. Absolutely correct. So 3, 2, 1, 4. So realizing, so whenever you have a 4 sentence parajumble, you need to realize that there exists 3 mandatory pairs. So 3, 2 is a pair here. It brings that contradiction. 2, 1 is a pair because both talk about luck, things largely out of our control. 1, 4 is a pair because we discuss our failures and the failures of others too. And that is what, and realizing that makes us humble on ourselves and compassionate towards others. So 3 mandatory pairs exist in this parajumble. ठीक है, make sense to everyone? Okay then. So what else? What else should I do? If you can spot the opening or closing sentences, excellent. So I think in the previous few questions, you have been able to spot the opening sentences. Sometimes your parajumble, your paragraph will have a clear-cut closing sentence also. It could be in the nature of a conclusion. It could be in the nature of a summary, right? There could be clear-cut closing sentences as well. You may have words such as therefore, hence, that tell you that this is the closing sentence. Again, if you're able to spot it easily, excellent. If not, the mandatory pair approach is the foolproof approach. Okay. Yes, you can do that, Resol. Students do that to take an experience of the exam. Okay. All right. Now, let's see this. This is the question. All right. I've got one sequence from Harshad. Others. Okay. All right. I have underlined some words for you in the beginning. Yes? The first few words. Make use of these. All right. Hi, KK. All right. So I've got three responses. What about others? You don't have to be absolutely correct in my class. There's no negative marking here. Secondly, laziness won't do when it comes to RC passages and parajumbles. You have to be active. Okay. So first of all, three cannot be the opening sentence. I think this is something that you should have realized. And the answers that I've got, that they show me that you realize this. This is not always the case. So what is not always the case? Maybe that is defined earlier. Moreover, some see the link between long commutes and productivity. That means probably I have established this link earlier. Yes? So that's why I said that make use of these first few words. So let's see if in which sentence I have established this link between long commutes and productivity. This talks about shorter commutes, whereas this one, yes, focuses on the fact that the best performing, who's best performing inventors? Companies best performing inventors suffered the greatest productivity losses when their commutes grew longer. So that means I am establishing a link between long commutes and productivity here. Okay, so 1 is something that can precede 3 because I established this link here. Then I say some, see the link, sorry, 1 comes before 4. Some see the link between long commutes and productivity as support for work from home scenarios. Now this everybody should have realized that 4-3 is a pair because 3 again talks about remote work from home scenario. Okay, so I say, oh, some people see this link as support for work from home scenario. This is all not always the case. Okay, um, why? Because remote work does not automatically lead to greater creativity and productivity. As office water cooler conversations are also very important for innovation. So 1, 4, 3. I am left with 2 here. Yes. What does 2 talk about? Should it be the opening sentence? What do you say? So, indeed, 2 is the opening sentence here. Shorter commutes support innovation by giving employees more time in the office and greater opportunities for in-person collaboration, while removing the physical strain of a long commute. Right. So that is why this is the reason that some company leaders are now basing their decisions on locating offices to foster innovation and growth. Right. So 2 is the topic of discussion here, how shorter commutes help. 1 is the result of realizing this, right? And realizing this connection between long commute and less productivity. Because of this link, this connection, some people think that work from home is good, but that is not always the case. So 2, 1, 4, 3. This is the sequence here. Does it make sense? Harshad, Monkey, Ashmita, Sachin. Yes, sure, KK. Please ask away your query. Clear to everyone? Yes. Tell me, important for me to know that you've understood the sequence. Otherwise, we can look at it some other way. There are other clues also. So pay attention to various words, various phrases. This becomes important in longer sentences. Okay. So for instance, relating this with this was very important here in order to realize what the sequence should be. Okay. Perfect. Then let's come to the next question. So far we have done this. We are reading with concentration. We are searching for clues. We are paying attention to the first few words. I hope you're doing this, right? And if we are able to spot the opening and closing sentences, great. Otherwise, did you see this that I was not very bent on finding the opening sentence first in the previous question. I was more focused about making pairs. Okay. Then find multiple pairs or orders becomes very important when you are not having any options, right? So, for instance, let's say it's a tough parajumble question and I'm not really able to make a mandatory pair. Then also I can realize this that okay, 4 1 may not be a pair, but 4 should come before 1. So I'll keep some distance between 4 and 1 and write them like this. Okay, so treat them like your arrangement questions, LR arrangement questions, where you have to arrange people in a row or in a circle, right? So what do? You first make these connections. No, you don't know if 4 and 1 are adjacent to each other, but you know that okay, in a row 4 is sitting before 1, 4 is on the left of 1, right? So if you know even this much, then you can keep some blanks and make arrangements. So find multiple pairs, multiple orders, if not pairs, and keep going progressively. Okay. All right. So, and moreover, see the questions that I'm giving you today, you must have noticed they're not highly philosophical questions, right? Related to the business world. Meritocracy is again a topic that is related very much to the business world. Similarly, this one is also an argument about business and economy. Let's see this paragraph and let's arrange this. Pay attention to all the important words here, the keywords, understand the theme, okay, and then arrange. Okay, I've got one sequence. And see, what do you think? How many months of preparation do you need? It's a very individualized, personalized question that you've asked me. So, assuming that the exam will happen in February next year, how many months of preparation? So, the 5 marks that you lost, or in which section were you the weakest? How much time do you need to prepare for that section? It is that is going to decide when you should start your prep. Okay. 3241, 3124, all right. So if you feel that you just need a brushing up of things, your concepts are in their place, these 5 marks that you lost were probably because of silly mistakes, then that means it's more of a practice question and you need not start right away. That is what my advice would be, right? If on the other hand you feel that there were certain concepts that you were genuinely weak in, which led you to lose out on these marks, then you can actually begin right now. Okay, so three is something that we agree on, that three is the opening sentence. You're absolutely right. Three is indeed the opening sentence here. Okay, good. Because it tells me what am I talking about in the rest of the sentences. The creative industry, the industry that is concerned with creating things, or perhaps even the art industry here, right? Creative refers to the arts. So the creative industry is receiving a lot of attention today as its growth rate is faster than that of the world economy as a whole. Okay, so that is what I'll be discussing in the rest of the paragraphs. Now, what should come next? Some of you say two, some of you say one. Okay, those who say one, why? And those who say two, why? So, see, when I say creative element, right, the creative element in product design. So that means I am not talking about a creative industry as such. So I am not talking about, let's say, the painters here, the artists here. Rather, I am saying that even if you design any product, let's say you are designing car accessories, right? So car accessories also, there is some creativity involved in designing that product, no? Or if you're designing a car for that matter, there is a creative element there. So here I'm not talking about the creative industry purely. I am talking about the creative element of other industries, right? So I first need to introduce this idea that is explained as one in one. So two. Okay. In fact, the creative element in the value of world industry would be larger still if we added the contribution of the creative element in other industries. So it says, see, first of all, its growth rate is anyway faster than that of the world economy. Now, if I add to it the creative element of other industries also, no, then its contribution to the value of world industry will go even higher, right? Why? The creative element in product design has become of paramount importance as it is one of a few ways a firm or industry can sustain a comparative advantage over its rivals. So, other companies also that are designing products, they are also paying a lot of attention to their creative design. Why? Because it helps them to gain a comparative edge. And this is the reason, it is for this reason that today's trade issues are increasingly involving intellectual property. What is unique to your product? What is inventive about your product? As Western industries have interest in protecting their revenues along with freeing trade in non-tangibles. Non-tangibles are your patents, copyrights, etc. So 3, 2, 1, 4, that should be the sequence and not 3, 1, 2, 4. So did anybody say that? 3, 2, 1, 4? I understand that it's probably because of the in fact. You thought that first I'll say the creative element and then in fact the creative element. So that is why a lot of you made this the sequence. This was a confusing question in this regard. Okay. This pair here was a confusing pair, I agree. But this is where, reading the whole sentence comes into the picture. You can't decide uh, conclusively just on the basis of the first few words. They are there to help you, not to uh, become your deciders. ठीक है? So I hope this makes sense and I can proceed. 3214. All right then. So this is what we have established so far, right? The last thing that I would tell you is revise your sequence. So in the last one also, no, once you made 3124 your sequence, read your paragraph in this order. Read the sentences in this order. You will realize that there is something off here. Okay, something off when you read two after one. So, to have this realization, revision is important. It is not time wasted, it is accuracy ensured. Okay, so let's apply all this that we have learned so far in a science based parajumble. Let's see what you say. Easy question. Good afternoon, agriculture. Okay, ask me. I'll try to help. Otherwise, I'll ask my team. I'll have to check this with my team. I'll get back to you in the next session, okay? 3 years. All right. Okay. Also, when a student asked me about the second year, being in the second year and taking CAT, I assume that you are in a 3 year course. So basically, pre-final year students, they can take CAT. Okay. If you're in a 4 year course, then I don't think in the second year you are eligible for CAT. Pre-final year में होना चाहिए. So third year students, second year students in a 3 year course, and third year and fourth year students in a 4 year course. They are eligible. Okay. So I've got two sequences so far. As I said, easy question. Let's see. More responses. Come on. I need more responses from you. One more and I'll discuss this. Okay. I need one more at least. Okay. All right. Okay. ठीक है, I'll just check this. I think you should be able to take cat, but I'll still check this and confirm this. ठीक है, I've got just two responses, so I'll straight away tell you the answer. I shouldn't explain this then. Yes? So, Sachin is right in identifying that two is the opening sentence here because, see, I am talking about fish skin collagen here, cow collagen proteins here. So, first, I will perhaps talk about collagen and then talk about what are its benefits, why is it used. Because straight away talking about fish skin collagen, cow collagen, and its usage for skin regeneration would become a little abrupt when I have a sentence that is telling me what it is, what is its function, right? So two first, good. Now, if you see here, fish skin swims in here. That means basically this person wanted to say it comes into the picture here. Instead of saying it comes in here, this person became a little poetic and said fish skin swims in here. So it comes into the picture here. What does here mean? To solve this problem, right? So, 4 presented a problem. The risk of introducing disease agents into other species through the use of pig and cow collagen proteins for wound healing has inhibited its broader applications in the medical field. So, this was the problem. So, now fish skin swims in here, it comes in here. Why? It can solve this problem as diseases and bacteria that affect fish are different from most human pathogens. So, they will not affect human beings. So, 4-3 is a pair. Okay, 2 is the opening sentence. I just have to decide where 1 should come. So this is where I introduce that, okay, fish skin can help me here. So first I'll talk about fish skin, then I'll talk about fish skin collagen. So 2, 4, 3, 1. That is going to be the sequence here. Did anybody make this? Okay. So this is the sequence here, 2, 4, 3, 1. So this was an easy question. What happened there, guys? Yes, I need to know this. What was your logic? They see both of these talk about diseases. They don't talk about diseases. So they have had to come together. So even if you paid attention to some broad things here, then also you could have realized this. This is too general, right? So usually when usually our paragraphs are deductive in nature. That means general to specific. Usually ऐसा होता है. तो पहले specific आएगा, पहले defining definition sentence आएगा. So what happened here? Yes. Maitri, we have sessions planned for CMAT. Don't worry. Today is the first day of April. Also, all the sessions that I took for MHCT will help you one thing. Secondly, the grammar series that I've been conducting, the grammar capsule. I think day before yesterday we had a session on tenses, on prepositions in that. Prior to that, a session on tenses. All of that is very relevant for CMAT as well. So we're not naming the sessions as CMAT sessions, but we're covering the content. We have been covering the content. And do not worry, I do have language comprehension sessions in this month. Okay, so yes, don't worry. All right, now look at this one. The last question for the day. Again, see, very topical, technology related. I want everybody to get this right, and it's an easy one. Okay, so just pay attention to the words and tell me. Last question for the day. I want enthusiastic response. Okay. So Harshit, just one sentence is out of place in your sequence. Just recheck it, reread it. Okay. So look at the theme of 1 and 2 and look at the theme of 4 and 3. Yes, don't you think 4, 3 have a related theme and 1, 2 have a related theme? Because the 4 and 3, they're talking about the technological aspect of it, the tech aspect of it. Whereas 2 and 1 or 1 and 2, they're more focused on the application aspect of it, that where are they used. So including retail, various sectors including retail. And then I explained to you its application in retail. Right. So 1 and 2 are about the application. So this is about the technology behind it. 4, 3, and then 1 and 2 are about its application. So please pay attention to the broader theme. Every paragraph, as I said, it's going to have a theme. So here the theme is beacons, definitely. But in beacons also, we first talk about the technology on which they operate, and then we talk about the application of this technology. Okay. So 4, 3 makes sense, and then 1, 2 makes sense. Good, Ashmita. 1 and 2, not 2, 1. See, because in 1 I explain, okay, which all sectors use it. So retail is one of those sectors. And then I explain how is it used in retail. A beacon fixed onto a shop wall enables the retailer to assess the proximity of the customer and come up with a much targeted or personalized communication like offers, discounts, and combos on products in each shelf. Okay, make sense? Have you experienced this? I have experienced this. So when let's say I go to some markets in Connaught Place, I have experienced this at times that I get notifications on my phone of nearby shops. So probably some of you have also experienced this in some major markets. 4, 3, 1, 2. That is the sequence here. Okay. So, see the things that will help you. So, currently you are able to see how many of you got how many questions correct. So, initially, let me tell you that the accuracy in sequence parajumbles initially tends to be low. So, there's no need to get demotivated. Uh, because it's a little more challenging because you do not have options here. They are not MCQ, so that's why building accuracy in these takes some patience. So read in general. Okay, so for instance, how did I realize that okay, this should be 4, 3, I mean this should come together and this should come together? Through reading. I've now got used to placing things that are thematically related together. Okay, टेक की बात करें ये दोनों साथ में आएंगे, एप्लीकेशन की बात करें ये दोनों साथ में आएंगे. So reading helps you to realize those pocket themes. Then practice as many parajumbles as you can. On the BYJU'S exam prep app, we have some free quizzes for you. So take those free quizzes. They have parajumble questions also. And yes, patience with these questions, reading various words, making connections, and keeping up at them, keep practicing them, even though initially your accuracy might be low. Okay, that's what will help you in becoming better at these questions. All right. So I hope today's session helped you to some extent and you will apply these things that I've told you, the approach that I've told you. These are our CAT 2022 toppers. I am sure now you're familiar with these faces. If you want to be one of them, then we have a CAT 2023 comprehensive batch for you. A lot of features available in this, right? You can check them out. The link is in the description box. And to make these courses accessible for you, we also have scholarships. So if you perform well in this test that is going to happen today at 7, you can get up to a 90% scholarship. Okay. And in case you are confused how to manage my job with my exam prep or how to manage my studies with my exam prep, we have just the workshop for you on the 4th of April at 7 p.m. You have to register for it in advance though. Okay. And yes, so questions, yes. So a lot of you who are taking CMAT and some of you who want more questions to practice, for them we have daily quizzes on our app. So just download the app and you'll get those quizzes in the practice session section. Also, we are launching this series called 500 Most Expected CAT Questions from April 6th. So, over a series of sessions, we will cover about 500 questions with you. So, this will help you tremendously in your CAT prep, right? Okay. Stay connected. I hope you've subscribed to the channel and you will be downloading the app to attempt various quizzes. If you're on social media, we are there as well. You can follow us. Welcome, guys. Welcome. See you. See you next time. Bye bye.